Libya's 2011 revolution topples Gaddafi, but armed militias now battle for control of Benghazi. Warring gangs raid abandoned government armories as the country slides toward chaos. Security contractor Jack Silva arrives in Benghazi and reunites with his old friend Tyrone Woods. The two catch up while driving through the city on a supply run. Armed gunmen box the convoy in on a narrow street, aiming rifles at the vehicles. Jack and Rone realize these are not allied fighters and prepare to fight clear. Gunmen taunt Jack and Rone, claiming a drone is watching and threatening their families back home. The standoff ends and the militants finally let them drive away. The team reaches the CIA annex in armored trucks bought cheap after Gaddafi's fall. Base Chief Bob immediately clashes with Rone over who really controls his men. Bob tells Rone his contractors are hired help, not intelligence officers. He orders them to act the part instead of running their own operations. Rone introduces Jack to the rest of the security team, Oz, Tonto, Tig, and Boone. The group trades jokes as Jack settles into life at the annex. Rone shows Jack around the walled compound next to a slaughterhouse the men call Zombieland. He introduces guard Heshem and warns Jack to always stay armed. Jack video calls his young daughters from his room, clearly missing them from thousands of miles away. His wife gently reminds him that the girls need him home. Bob privately tells Jack he does not want him in Benghazi, insisting there is no real threat left. He hands over credentials and warns things change fast here. Rone briefs the team on a covert meet, posing as an oil executive staff. They will help CIA officers meet a Libyan contact named Farid at a restaurant. Jack poses as a diplomat's husband while officers Sona and Britt meet Farid over dinner. The rest of the team monitors the street from nearby vehicles. Breaking the rule to stay in the car, Jack steps out and walks through a crowded rooftop arms market. He spots a Russian rocket casually laid out for sale. The meeting wraps up quickly and the team hustles back to their vehicles. Sona asks Farid to call again in a few days with a shipping manifest. Convoy spots a tail and Rone orders evasive turns through the crowded streets. After a tense maneuver, they finally lose the pursuing vehicle. Weeks later, Jack video calls his daughters again from under an olive tree at the annex. He savors a quiet moment before returning to work. Fellow contractor Glen Doherty arrives from Tripoli with news. Ambassador Chris Stevens is coming to Benghazi and insists on staying at the lightly defended diplomatic compound. Jack and the team trace the tail vehicle to a house just 2 blocks from the compound. The surveillance threat is confirmed real. The GRS team arrives at the Special Mission compound. They meet State Department security agents Scott Wickland and Dave Ubben. The agents walk Jack and Rone through the compound's safe haven. They point out the reinforced door and the ambassador's windowless safe room inside. Rone bluntly tells the agents that 5 men with rifles cannot defend a 9-acre compound. He warns them the soft perimeter will get someone killed. Back at the annex, Oz takes up a sniper overwatch position. Jack chats with interpreter Amal about Gaddafi's all-female personal security detail. The team conducts a tense weapons buyback from armed sellers in an open lot. They talk down an agitated gunman before finally closing the deal. Ambassador Chris Stevens arrives at the annex and greets Bob and the CIA staff. He speaks about building relationships to help Libya's new democracy succeed. Bob dresses down Tonto for buying black market missiles without authorization. He warns Tonto this is his last chance before losing the contract. A supposedly low-profile meeting between Stevens and the mayor draws a crowd of onlookers and press. His security detail is visibly unsettled. Citing the September 11 anniversary, Stevens decides to remain inside the compound walls for the day. He cancels his usual outside drivers. IT specialist Sean Smith is sent to install secure communications for the ambassador. He meets the GRS team and jokes about upgrading their Wi-Fi too. A State Department cable warns that a Western facility could be attacked within the week. Staff read the message and destroy it as ordered. On the morning of September 11, 2012, Stevens privately notes he feels unsafe. He reports people photographing the compound to his superiors in Tripoli. Guards notice suspicious activity near the compound's back gate. They radio for someone who speaks Arabic to question the men watching them. That evening, the men call home. Jack teases his daughter about a boy she met, while another contractor's family shares surprise news of a new baby. News broadcasts show crowds outside the U.S. Embassy in Cairo. They are protesting an amateur film they consider insulting to the Prophet Muhammad. Boone reads Tonto a line about all the heavens and hells existing within a person. Tonto is amused but unconvinced. Zona heads out to dinner with her intelligence contact. The GRS team keeps watch and settles in for what seems like a quiet night. Jack privately apologizes for an earlier disagreement. He admits he only wanted everything to go right given the happy news of an unexpected pregnancy. The men relax with shisha and coffee at the outpost. None of them realize how quickly this calm September evening is about to change. Gunfire erupts at the diplomatic compound's gate as dozens of armed militants storm in. They overwhelm the local guards in charge toward the main buildings. Agent Scott Wickland rushes Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith into the fortified safe haven. Attackers flood through the burning compound grounds behind them. Inside the compound, Sean Smith searches desperately for his weapon. Explosions and gunfire tear through the darkness just outside the walls. The GRS team musters at the annex and radios that the diplomatic compound is under attack. They demand permission to respond immediately. Bob refuses to send the team in right away, insisting they are the last resort, not the first responders. He orders them to wait. Attackers pour diesel fuel around the safe haven's door and set it ablaze. They are trying to burn the ambassador and Smith out of hiding. Thick smoke fills the safe room as Stevens and Smith crawl toward the bathroom. They gasp for air, unable to see or breathe. Desperate radio calls for help go out from the burning compound. Bob continues to withhold the order for the GRS team to move. Interpreter Amal is pulled into a vehicle at gunpoint as the GRS team finally mobilizes toward the compound. They defy the chief's stand-down order. En route, the convoy runs into an unexpected roadblock manned by unidentified fighters. The team negotiates their way through it on foot. A rocket-propelled grenade explodes near the team as they push forward on foot. They advance toward the compound's front gate under heavy fire. Under fire, Rone's team scales the compound's outer wall to get inside. Tonto and Boone push in separately from the back gate. Tig opens fire on an enemy technical vehicle blocking the road. He destroys it just before it can turn its mounted gun on the team. The team finally enters the gutted, fire-blackened villa. They realize immediately that no one could have survived the blaze inside. Jack and Rone search room to room, calling out for Ambassador Stevens. They find no trace of him anywhere in the smoke-filled ruins. The team locates Sean Smith's body inside the compound. They confirm with grim certainty that he did not survive the attack. Word comes over the radio that the attackers are regrouping outside the compound. They are bringing in reinforcements for a second push. A second wave of attackers pours through the compound's unguarded back gate. The team scrambles hard to hold their exposed position. To locate the ambassador, the team makes the painful decision to exfil. They carry Sean Smith's body out with them. The convoy is ambushed again while driving back, taking fire from gunmen along the route. They push hard toward the annex. Rocket-propelled grenades explode near the convoy as pursuing vehicles give chase through the streets. The team finally shakes the tail. Back at the annex, the team fortifies their position, hauling extra ammunition up to the rooftops. They brace for a second assault. Bob wants to evacuate the annex immediately, but Rone flatly refuses. He tells Bob the team is staying to make their stand here. Rone assigns each man to a building and rooftop position around the annex. He sets overlapping sectors of fire to cover every angle. A lone shepherd wandering near the wall triggers a false alarm among the tense defenders. They quickly realize he poses no real threat. The team kills the interior lights to avoid becoming easy targets. To their dismay, they realize no gunship support is actually coming. As dawn approaches, dozens of attackers advance on the annex from multiple directions. The defenders hold their fire and wait for the order. With the compound surrounded, Bob finally authorizes the team to fire. They are cleared to shoot the moment they see a weapon in enemy hands. Heavy gunfire erupts across the annex rooftops as the team opens up on the advancing attackers. A fierce, sustained firefight follows. A round strikes Tig's body armor during the firefight, knocking him down. He gets back up and keeps fighting without missing a beat. The attackers retreat after their first assault fails. Exhausted defenders get a brief chance to regroup and reload their weapons. During a lull in the fighting, Rone tells Jack that Becky is pregnant. The two men quietly reflect on missing time with their families. Spotting a truck loaded with heavy ordnance approaching, the team opens fire. They destroy it before it can reach the annex walls. Exhaustion sets in overnight and Tig is pulled off his rooftop post. He has begun seeing threats in the shadows that are not really there. Word arrives that Ambassador Stevens has been found dead of smoke inhalation. The earlier report that he was admitted to a hospital alive was false. As dawn breaks, spotters report 40 to 50 vehicles massing outside the annex. The exhausted defenders brace for what looks like a final assault. Determined not to give up, Jack insists the fight is not over. He says it ends only when every attacker is dead or they are. The approaching convoy turns out to be Libyan militia allies escorting a Tripoli reinforcement team. Relieved cheers break out among the defenders. Survivors and staff are hurried into trucks for the drive to the airport. The sun rises over a battered, smoke-scarred Benghazi. Bob wants to stay behind to collect intelligence, but the team physically puts him in the car. They refuse to risk more lives for him. The team says goodbye to interpreter Amal, thanking him for his courage. They apologize that his own country was pulled into their fight. At the airport, Bob insists on walking out of Libya the same way he walked in. He refuses further help as he heads for the plane. The Libyan militia commander tells the Americans he is proud to know men like them. He watched their fight through the night. While waiting for their flight out, the team gets word. Ambassador Stevens' body is being brought to the same airport for the journey home. Reflecting on the attack, the men conclude the mortar strike could not have found them by chance. It must have been planned days in advance. Survivors weigh the impossible odds they faced and joke about medals for others. They agree that simply getting home alive is reward enough. At the airport, Jack calls Rone's wife Becky to tell her he is finally coming home for good. He does not yet know what else he must say. Jack struggles to find the words as he tells Becky that Tyrone Woods did not survive the attack. She breaks down in grief on the call. Closing text honors the 4 Americans killed defending Benghazi that night. Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and Glen Doherty gave their lives.